What's up, everybody? I'm Jack Slater, aka the Comic Outlaw. Yeah! I hope you're ready because we're doing some classic, and I mean classic Fantastic Four issue 103. Yeah, and it's clobbering time. Yeah, they're fighting one of my favorite villain slash heroes, the Prince of the Tides himself, the King of Atlantis, Submariner, aka Namor. Yes, and Namor is teaming up with Magneto. And of course, you know, at this time, Magneto is pretty unsavory, and so is that outfit he's wearing. I mean, sheesh. John Romita actually took a few liberties on that one. Yes, they did switch artists right now. I thought I'd notice that change for you. Anyways, they're actually plotting a war. Well, Magneto's plotting a war against Atlantis and basically the rest of the world. So, you know, Namor's pissed off. You know, Thing may have fired a torpedo, you know, in anger. Considering what was going on, you know, Magneto's messing with everyone. And this is basically a full-blown emergency because nobody wants Atlantis to come up and basically declare war on New York. So, yeah, they get calls from the general. They get calls from everyone. And Reed is trying to talk Namor down, but of course, Johnny's a hothead, so he decides to flame on and tries to do something about it. And this is where Reed kind of just reaches out. I mean, he is kind of like the father figure of this group. And he does use his arm. Of course, Johnny extinguishes himself so he doesn't burn Reed. And they try figuring this out. Sue actually comes in. She's taking care of the baby. And this is where Reed tells her to drop her off at Miss Harkness' house. You know, Agatha Harkness, a powerful sorceress in her own right. She's actually the babysitter for little Franklin. You know, that figures so much later on. Anyways, Tricky Dick comes on. Like I said, this happened a long time ago. And Reed negotiates with him to give him one more chance. And Tricky Dick gives him that one more chance, but he says if they fail, they will use the military. So war is going to be on if Reed can't stop this. So anyways, Johnny tells her, Crystal, stay behind the communications. And yeah, she gets pissed off because she should be with him. But, you know, I think it's good leaving her for backup because these guys get in so much trouble by themselves. Crystal always seems to save their asses at the end. Anyways, moving on. The Fantastic Four car flies. And, of course, Namor and Magneto are having clashes of ego. You know, he's saying he's not going to attack first, but he's just flexing, basically. Anyways, Magneto actually uses magnetic powers, launches a torpedo. You know, he's using this as an opportunity to kind of, like, further on the war. And, of course, the torpedo fires. Namor actually flies out because he doesn't want to make the first strike. Reed uses a repulsor beam. It blows up the torpedo. It ends up blasting off. Of course, it pisses Namor off. You know, this is a lot of misunderstandings. Anyways, Namor falls into the water, and Ben kind of makes a little error of judgment here. He jumps off to fight him, but, you know, let's get ready to rumble. Anyways, Magneto uses magnetic powers, kind of traps them in their own armor, and he takes over the ship. A little short-sighted Magneto, but, you know, you got to take what you can. Namor is kind of being a jerk. Well, they're both basically the same. Anyways, Sue drops the kid off, Franklin, at Agatha Harkness' house, and it's kind of a house of wonder. And a few issues back, we found out how wacky and magical that place really gets. I actually recommend it if you are a fan of magic. Anyways, she takes the kid. She tells Sue that she's needed. Sue knows that she's needed. Magneto takes this as an opportunity. You gotta admit, even though I don't understand what Magneto's wearing, he is a pretty good unsavory character in this. This man can backstab with the best of them. Anyways, he uses magnetic powers. He starts bringing Sue to the ground. And yeah, basically Sue is captured. Like I said, another smart play by Magneto. A little classic comic book ads right there. Of course, as always, you know, I like to bring in a little authenticity to my comic book readers. And of course, the ship drops down. He ends up bringing the ship into his flagship, since Magneto is now the El Capitan of this ship. El Capitan Magneto. I don't think that'll work. I'll just stick to Magneto. Anyways, moving on, of course, he grabs Sue, takes her as a hostage, and this is pretty smart of Magneto, you know, kind of hold a few cards. Of course, Thing goes down, he starts spinning like a vortex, kind of just sending everything up, and this is actually a pretty fair ambush for Namor. I mean, he's strong. The water pressure actually makes him a lot stronger, but this is a good way to kind of sucker him in, but Namor's just too fast in the water. Thing tries with his haymaker, and of course, Namor takes advantage. And like I said, his strength is actually increased by the depths. wonder if that would work in zero gravity too. Another discussion for another time. Anyways, he picks him up and just literally throws him into the water. And this is where Namor realizes he just got jacked by Magneto. Before he could figure out, dude, where's my flagship? Yeah, she gets attacked by the Human Torch. And like I said, the Fantastic Four do have experience dealing with him, but Namor has experience dealing with them too. And they are in his environment. Namor realizes he cannot fly him, so he jumps in the water. And this is where Reed kind of busts out a save and helps out the Thing. And they're trying to figure out how they're actually going to take Namor down. Now, of course, another ship shows up for Namor because, he did come in a fleet. Before he could jump in, Thing does a little remodeling and basically closes that garage door. The fight is on. And they're just trying to stop Namor. They're trying to contain him so they could talk to him. But the Submariner isn't having any of that. He is not having any of that at all. They do capture him. They realize that it's Magneto that's been pulling the strings. And yeah, they do get a call from Magneto, and Submariner just breaks his way through. And this is where Magneto says that he has both their girls. Yup, he kidnapped his queen, and he kidnapped Reed's queen. Oh man, now they have to put their heads together to figure out what they're going to do about Magneto. And these two guys who hate each other, rivals, enemies, have to work together. Will they, to save their loves? Well, as always, we'll find out the next time, won't we? And I'll catch you on the flip side. Yeah.